A soap opera, soapia, or soap is a serial drama on television or radio which features related storylines about the lives of many characters. The stories usually focus on emotional relationships to the point of melodrama. The term soap opera originated from such dramas being typically sponsored by soap manufacturers in the past. Origin of the genre. The first series considered to be a soap opera was Painted Dreams, which debuted on October 20, 1930 on Chicago radio station WGN. Early radio series such as Painted Dreams were broadcast in weekday daytime slots, usually 5 days a week, when most of the listeners would be housewives. Thus, the shows were aimed at and consumed by a predominantly female audience. In the name, soap refers to the soap and detergent commercials originally broadcast during the shows, which were aimed at women who were cleaning their houses at the time of listening or viewing. And opera refers to the melodramatic character of the shows. The first nationally broadcast radio soap opera was Clara, Lou, and Em, which aired on the NBC Blue Network at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on January 27, 1931. Story and episode structure. A crucial element that defines the soap opera is the open-ended serial nature of the narrative, with stories spanning several episodes. One of the defining features that makes a television program a soap opera, according to Albert Moran, is that form of television that works with a continuous open narrative. Each episode ends with a promise that the storyline is to be continued in another episode. In 2012, Los Angeles Times columnist Robert Lloyd wrote of daily dramas, although melodramatically eventful, soap operas such as this also have a luxury of space that makes them seem more naturalistic. Indeed, the economics of the form demand long scenes and conversations that a 22 episodes per season weekly series might dispense within half a dozen lines of dialogue may be drawn out, as here, for pages. You spend more time even with the minor characters. The apparent villains grow less apparently villainous. Soap opera storylines run concurrently, intersect and lead into further developments. An individual episode of a soap opera will generally switch between several different concurrent narrative threads that may at times interconnect and affect one another, or may run entirely independent of each other. Each episode may feature some of the show's current storylines, but not always all of them, especially in daytime serials and those that are broadcast each weekday. There is some rotation of both storyline and actors, so any given storyline or actor will appear in some but usually not all of a week's worth of episodes. Soap operas rarely bring all the current storylines to a conclusion at the same time. When one storyline ends, there are several other story threads at differing stages of development. Soap opera episodes typically end on some sort of cliffhanger, and the season finale ends in the same way, only to be resolved when the show returns for the start of a new yearly broadcast. Evening soap operas and those that air at a rate of one episode per week are more likely to feature the entire cast in each episode, and to represent all current storylines in each episode. Evening soap operas and serials that run for only part of the year tend to bring things to a dramatic end-of-season cliffhanger. In 1976, Time magazine described American daytime television as TV's richest market, noting the loyalty of the soap opera fan base and the expansion of several half-hour series into hour-long broadcasts in order to maximize ad revenues. The article explained that at that time, many prime-time series lost money, while daytime serials earned profits several times more than the production costs. The issue's cover notably featured its first daytime soap stars, Bill Hayes and Susan Seaforth Hayes of Days of Our Lives, a married couple whose on-screen and real-life romance was widely covered by both the soap opera magazines and the mainstream press at large. Plots and storylines. The main characteristics that define soap operas are an emphasis on family life, personal relationships, sexual dramas, emotional and moral conflicts, some coverage of topical issues, set in familiar domestic interiors with only occasional excursions into new locations. Fitting in with these characteristics, most soap operas follow the lives of a group of characters who live or work in a particular place, or focus on a large extended family. The storylines follow the day-to-day activities and personal relationships of these characters. Soap narratives, like those of film melodramas, are marked by what Steve Neal has described as chance happenings, coincidences, mismeetings, sudden conversions, last-minute rescues and revelations, deus ex machina endings. These elements may be found across the gamut of soap operas, from EastEnders to Dallas. In many soap operas, in particular daytime serials in the United States, the characters are frequently attractive, seductive, glamorous and wealthy. Soap operas from the United Kingdom and Australia tend to focus on more everyday characters and situations, and are frequently set in working-class environments. Both UK and Australian soap operas feature comedic elements, often by way of affectionate comic stereotypes such as the gossip or the grumpy old man, presented as a sort of comic foil to the emotional turmoil that surrounds them. This diverges from US soap operas where such comedy is rare. UK soap operas frequently make a claim to presenting reality, or purport to have a realistic style. UK soap operas also frequently foreground their geographic location as a key defining feature of the show while depicting and capitalizing on the exotic appeal of the stereotypes connected to the location. As examples, EastEnders focuses on the tough and grim life in London's East End, while Coronation Street invokes Manchester and its characters exhibit the stereotypical characteristic of northern straight-talking. Romance, secret relationships, extramarital affairs, and genuine love have been the basis for many soap opera storylines. In US daytime serials, the most popular soap opera characters, and the most popular storylines, often involved a romance of the sort presented in paperback romance novels. Soap opera storylines sometimes weave intricate, convoluted and sometimes confusing tales of characters who have affairs, meet mysterious strangers and fall in love, and who commit adultery, all of which keeps audiences hooked on the unfolding story twists. Crimes such as kidnapping, rape, and even murder may go unpunished if the perpetrator is to be retained in the ongoing story. Australian and UK soap operas also feature a significant proportion of romance storylines. In Russia, most popular serials explore the romantic quality of criminal and/or oligarch life. In soap opera storylines, previously unknown children, siblings and twins of established characters often emerge to upset and reinvigorate the set of relationships examined by the series. Unexpected calamities disrupt weddings, childbirths, and other major life events with unusual frequency. If we want to blend an actor back into a show, there's always a way. You can generally find a way to twist and manipulate something. You rarely see a dead body, but hey, even if you do, he or she can always come back to play the evil identical twin. Marlena Laird in 1992. During her time as a line producer and director for General Hospital, much like comic books, another popular form of linear storytelling pioneered in the US. During the 20th century, a character's death is not guaranteed to be permanent. On The Bold and the Beautiful, Taylor Forrester was shown to flatline and have a funeral. When Tyler reprised the character in 2005, Aretkin explained that Taylor had actually gone into a coma. Stunts and complex physical action are largely absent, especially from daytime serials. Such story events often take place off-screen and are referred to in dialogue instead of being shown. This is because stunts or action scenes are difficult to adequately depict visually without complex action, multiple takes, and post-production editing. When episodes were broadcast live, post-production work was impossible. Though all serials have long switched to being taped, extensive post-production work and multiple takes, while possible, are not feasible due to the tight taping schedules and low budgets.